Wow. Podcast starts now. What is up, everyone?
So we are doing actually something now that I think is a consistent dynamic.
Please.
So before we started recording, I was having what I would maybe generously call a nervous breakdown about what we could possibly talk about during our intro, and you kept being like, shut up, we'll find something. And I actually think that is a dynamic that happens a lot, where I am always worried we're going to run out of things to say, and you say trust the process.
Yeah, well, you want sometimes to, I'll say it, script what we're going to talk about.
I want a script, yeah.
And yet we never have done it, and it always works. Like, we've done this for years.
Okay, but hold
point.
on. There is, that there is that 10%, 7% when we do feel a block.
Sure.
I'm not saying it does not happen. It's not like 50-50. If it were 50-50, we would not be making $1 billion a year like we're currently doing. But there is that, and for whatever reason, for me, that is, I go to sleep having nightmares about it, and I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about it. What if we open our mouths and nothing comes out?
But like, where I take joy in that. I feel like if we were doing an intro and truly we had absolutely nothing to talk about, then it would actually get to a really good point.
Oh, I see. You're saying that that silence and immobility is like a site of productive debate.
Yeah, because then when you're not thinking about what you're going to say, you have literally nothing to say. Then you're like, okay, well, now I have to find
You're
something.
forced to be innovative.
Yeah.
Basically,
and
like,
imagine if we literally had silence, and then it was like, okay, no one's done that before.
Okay, wait. So there's two things. You are saying both that silence itself is radical, but then also that silence can be a site of speaking, ultimately, because that is when you then have to step up and say something you've never said before.
Yeah, and it can be really, really groundbreaking. I want to say something that, I couldn't have scripted because I wasn't thinking about it until right this moment.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Is that I was actually listening to an episode because we listened to the episodes to like see if we want to take anything out, because we always go on hard right-wing rants at halfway points. But I was like listening to us, and I was like, okay, is what's groundbreaking about us is that for podcasters, we're both shy.
I can't believe this.
I was like,
I don't think compared to the average person, either of us is shy.
But we're not.
Maybe we're shy
compared to podcasters. The thing, I was listening to it, and I was like, when are these guys going to wake up? I was like, this is our voice for a full hour 10? It was shocking to me.
And then after having that realization, you were still like, and yet we have to get to silence.
Well, this is
even though we're being shy, we're not being shy enough. We're still speaking and therefore failing.
This is my eternal optimism. Is I was like, okay, that's actually what makes us so beautiful, is that we are shy podcasters.
Do you consider yourself a shy person? I guess you are.
In some cases.
Yeah, in some cases.
I think I get too scared of like being too forward, so I overcorrect, and I'm like too like if I don't know someone, I'll sort of just be like, okay, like I'll wait until I'm formally introduced, and it's like, you can just say hi.
Yeah.
But whatever, we don't need to get down that road again.
Huh. Well, we've said this before. 2 gay cancers can have a podcast.
So is this our moment of silence?
Well, okay, but here's what's interesting. It was our moment of silence, and then I chose to say the least compelling thing I could have possibly said. I made a non-funny joke that we have made in the past before. Like, I panicked, and I actually didn't let the silence land.
No,
I'm serious.
I mean, I guess
the thing that I said was probably the least interesting thing either of us has said this entire time, and that is what I went to grasp at when I was confronted with the silence.
Wow.
How do I get to a point where the silence can be a site of productivity?
I don't know. I don't know if I can. You hear that?
Well, your turn, babe. Let's see what you got.
Here's what I want to talk about. I think it's actually kind of vintage, and I am going to bring this up, even though it feels unprofessional now that we are in the iHeart Studios and there are people surrounding us. I do want to say we are both hungover in sort of a vintage way. And it is a Wednesday for people listening.
Right, it is a Wednesday at 1:45 p.m.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
As soon as I found out you were also hungover, I stopped being hungover.
Really?
You actually created a space for me to not have to live up to anything.
Wow.
And therefore, I immediately became okay with exactly where I was. And I genuinely right now, physically and medically, do not feel hungover, even though I did when we talked about this mere hours ago.
Wow. See, I loved when you said it, because I was like, we are so cosmically linked. I was like, look at that.
Yeah.
But I actually do appreciate what you're saying. It's sort of like, it's the shirt about like I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad who stepped up.
Say more.
That's what you.
Okay, because I think it's
you
like
were like I never intended to not be hungover today, but then I heard that my dear podcast co-host is hungover, which means I am now going to step up and not be hungover.
So here's how I think of it: is like I had this mark on me, a red H for hungover, and then I walked in the room and everyone started getting up and saying, I'm also hungover. I'm also hungover. I'm also hungover. And so then I looked around and I said, oh, so I'm just like all these people. My thing can't be that I'm hungover. I have to think of something else. I have to maybe wear a fun shirt or something.
You know what? I'm like, you know what we're being?
What?
Like, we're being like celebrities. Like, to be like hungover and on camera and like almost if you were like to pretend you weren't. House like that's literally Jimmy Fallon. We would literally be Jimmy Fallon.
We are bleeping out the person you just mentioned for that specific topic.
It's in New York Magazine. You can say it out loud. He's hungover sometimes. A lot of times.
At best.
If it's in New York Magazine, you're allowed to say it on your podcast.
Okay, fine. So who's on Ozempic? That was in New York Magazine. Let's go through a list of our friends who has filler.
No, they didn't name names.
That's true. Well, yeah, they kind of did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well, you're the reporter, you know?
This is sort of crazy because I felt like we had so little to talk about that I was like, can I talk about the David Beckham documentary? And you were like, I trust that it won't have to come up. And now here we are nearing the end of our intro, and I still haven't even mentioned it.
Well, do you want to mention it?
Well, I guess all I want to mention is we said we wouldn't talk about it because this episode is coming out, you know, a few weeks from now, and so it won't be in the news anymore. Mm-hmm. I guess the only thing I wanted to mention is I thought that this documentary was like a pop culture documentary about the Beckhams as a couple, and so I started watching and thinking I was going to get a lot of Spice Girls footage. Turns out it's about him as a footballer, and it's literally just about him and different games he played and which penalty kicks he got into the goal and which ones he didn't. And so here I am, an hour and a half in, suddenly encyclopedic knowledge of English football in the 90s.
Wow.
Sort of crazy. But the other thing I want to say is that I do think they are one of the great love stories of our time.
And why do you say that?
Because
You think they're like legit?
I think they're completely legit. I mean, I almost want to bring in our guest for this because he has also watched the documentary.
Okay.
Can we do that? And then we'll keep talking?
Yeah, I'll just stay silent because I haven't seen
we're
a second
teaching
of
you.
it.
Okay, wait. Oh, fuck. Nico, we forgot to ask you if you want to promote anything. So how about, please welcome Nico, who will then list the things he wants to promote. Just kidding. We'll ask you later. Okay, please welcome Nico Carney.
What's up? I'm so excited
how's
to
it
be
going?
here.
Wait, Nico. Okay. So you've seen more of the Beckham documentary than I have.
Yes.
We specifically are interested in only the love story and not the soccer.
Well, that's one of my favorite parts about it,
Okay.
so I'm happy to talk about that. And I recommend you watch it for the love story.
Yeah.
Even if you don't care about soccer, because so it's a classic sports documentary where they're like, this guy was a prodigy, and then obviously something happens, and usually it's like they get into gambling or drugs or whatever, partying, whatever. His thing is that he's so obsessed and in love with Victoria Beckham that he's staying up till 1 a.m. before games on the phone with her.
Wow.
And all his teammates are like, "You gotta go to bed, man. We got a game in the morning."
Yeah.
And he's like driving out to see her, like across like the country.
And everyone's like, he would drive 4 hours to see her for 20 minutes.
Like he's
Oh my
obsessed. He's like a
God.
major simp. It's the best.
Wow.
And it doesn't ever get any like spicier than that, really. Up to what I'm at. I'm only like 3 episodes in.
Well, it's also like they each knew of one another via their respective celebrities. So it's like Victoria knew him as a footballer and he knew her as a Spice Girl. And you would think, well, that's not going to work out. It's like meeting on Instagram. Mm-hmm. But here we are 25 years later and they're stronger than ever.
4 kids.
4 kids.
Wow.
None of them in any way compelling or smart. But the two of them have never been stronger. There is something actually. Okay, here's how we take this from specific to Universal so that you can participate without having watched it.
I'm just looking at my phone in the corner.
Okay, and Nico, I'm actually curious about this. It's like there's something about both of them that is so middle of the road. Like they are not super interesting. Obviously, he's a once in a generation talented footballer. We've made that clear. But they're such uninteresting people, sort of.
Yeah, they're very normal.
They're
It's
not
kind of
like,
refreshing.
Yeah, they're not like mind-blowingly stupid, but they're also not smart.
Yeah.
But they're clearly smart enough to have these great careers and, you know, raise like normal kids.
Yeah.
And you sort of start thinking like, is the solution to just be as normal as possible?
I mean, they are my favorite two like figures of a documentary that I've watched in a while because they're so normal and they're so obsessed with each other. And every time Victoria Beckham comes on, she's like, yeah, the tabloids were like saying I like eat too many prunes. And it's like, I never said that. Like, she's always just like coming for some like stupid headline that happened like a decade ago.
Right.
She's using this to like get ahead of the story she never had the opportunity to, which is like, why, that's why you got to be on a documentary now.
But is that also like the British approach to fame where it just is calmer? Like, even if you're...
I mean, but it was not. But the British tabloids are famously worse than the American tabloids.
Not if they're talking about prunes you're eating.
That's not all they were talking about.
It got worse. No, they like legit like it got so bad because they got really pissed. Have you got to the part where they got pissed off at him?
Yeah.
So he basically does this thing in World Cup that he gets a red card. Everybody gets mad at him.
He gets a red card and everyone gets mad at him.
Yeah, so he gets kicked out of the game. So then they lose, and then everybody gets mad at him. For like a year, people are like booing him at every game he goes to. They're chanting Victoria Beckham takes it in the ass at every soccer game he plays in for a year. And like it just gets like crazy. So he's like the epitome of like being like nationally persecuted for something
Totally.
essentially like stupid,
Yes. It's also like it's such a throwback to be reminded of a time when actually literally they were trying to get away from the paparazzi. They were not calling the paparazzi on one another. Like they were trying to keep the relationship a secret so that they wouldn't be famous or so that it wouldn't detract from either of their careers. So yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
I will say I did want to know more about her fashion line. Like it really focused on him.
Maybe there will be a sequel.
Yeah.
It'll be all about her.
Yeah, Beckham 2, Victoria.
Yeah. And then they can do one for each of the kids. It'll be really groundbreaking.
Yeah, it'll just get less and less interesting as time goes on.
Like many Netflix shows.
Yeah. Also watch it because he is so fucking handsome.
He is very handsome.
He looks amazing in every era, every haircut, every uniform.
Did you go through a Beckham phase?
I remember seeing him as a child and being like, he's dressed weird. Like, it never connected with me. It's only in, like, now where I can look back and be like, oh, he was being fashionable.
And so ahead of his time. I mean, talk about wearing a sarong when no one was wearing a sarong.
Yeah, it was always too much to me. I also just never, as an American, it never spoke to me where it was like a famous soccer player. Like, I was sort of like, okay, but what does he actually do? Like, like I was like, is he in a music video? Like, he was famous for me from the cameo in Bend It Like Beckham.
Totally.
He was the titular Beckham in Bend It Like Beckham, and that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Sort of the Godot, The whole time, like, when's he gonna show up? When's he gonna show up?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had a question for you, George, as someone with an international background.
Please.
Do you call it soccer or football if you're being normal?
And be normal.
Yeah, gun to head. Someone's like, be normal.
I call it.
And what do you call it?
Despite everything around us right now, be normal.
I call it soccer. I guess ultimately my answer is that I call it soccer when I'm in America and football when I'm in Europe because I want to fit in.
Wow, that's so amazing.
Wouldn't you call it football if you were in Europe?
I don't know. I wonder.
Sam's not talking about it. It's not coming up.
I know. I'm like,
Gun to his head, it's not
what
coming
would have to happen for Sam to be in Europe talking about soccer, where he'd be like, remember to say football?
Well, I actually
only if we redo this podcast episode in Europe will Sam be talking about it.
I would love to sort of be, dropped in England, naked and afraid style, and like we document like how long it takes me to adopt the words.
Yeah.
Like when do I say like chips earnestly?
Sure.
To mean fries for the uneducated. Because I wonder, would it be like first day? Like I actually don't know. Would I be like, well,
breaking me immediately?
Yeah. Do I forget who I am and I'm just like trying to be British?
Do you feel like you would be at all points trying to fit in, or not think about it and keep getting corrected or whatever?
I think I would definitely try to fit in.
Yeah.
Because like if I go to a different a country that speaks a different language, I'm like trying to do the language. But if the language is just English but different, then that's kind of a slay.
It's much easier to grasp onto.
It's somewhat an easy language. I learned American English and British English so fast.
I will say anytime somebody says football in the U.S., I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
Totally. Well, wait. Okay, so you have soccer. Soccer is in your life.
Yes.
Are you shocked?
I had no idea.
I played all the way through college.
Oh, wow.
So I played for a while. It was like the biggest thing, the longest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Up until this point. Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about, as a soccer player, semi-professional, I assume, how do you feel about like soccer's place in American culture?
Well, it's always been so big for the women's national team, and so growing up, that was awesome because they were stars, and so I was like obsessed with them. So that was really cool.
The way
That's true.
the photo of Mia Hamm kneeling is like as famous as the Statue of Liberty.
The,
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
100%.
the sliding.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, how is that photo so iconic for me? I've never followed soccer, but I know the name Mia Hamm, and I know that she slid on the ground.
So that was 1999 too.
Okay.
So like shirt off.
Yes.
Like that's so for like a woman in 1999. Like that was huge.
No one had ever seen a female body.
No, not like that. Not on
At
a
that
sports
point,
pitch.
they were corseting.
Yeah.
Okay, you're so right though that it's the one sport where women's is more famous than men's.
In the U.S., yeah, for sure, which is cool. So that was cool, like growing up.
Okay.
And now, I mean, like Messi just joined the MLS, so that's like getting a lot of press.
Yeah.
And so I think they're trying. They've just like, I mean, I won't bore you guys forever because I do have a lot of like annoying straight thoughts about this.
Sure.
But basically, I think that they're trying to use celebrity to get soccer to be more fair.
But didn't they try that with Beckham?
Yeah, he was the original like MLS guy. I
right.
had his LA Galaxy jersey when I was a kid. Like I was.
And like, did
Whoa.
that work? I mean,
Like it didn't not work, but
Sure.
it's such a slow burn thing because these guys come over for the last 5 years of their career. That one club is like, yay, we have David Beckham. Then he leaves, and it's like, all right, whatever. We forgot about it again. So they're not like building from the ground up with some foundation.
Totally. They're trying to do celebrity cameos.
Yeah.
It's sort of like season 3 Arrested Development.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's sort of like our reels, you know.
I was just thinking that. It's somebody who posts a lot of reels who hasn't written the material.
They didn't
They're not
grow their
writing.
audience organically.
Yeah, no,
they're not
no.
writing.
They got 100K overnight and
Oh, man.
one reel to show for it. So.
Damn, David Beckham is sort of the Matt Rife of the MLS.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah. When I remember being a child and people being obsessed with soccer, like people that like, because I played soccer and I was like, okay, I have a normal appreciation for this sport. I'm normal. I'm doing this normally. And then there'd be like one kid on the team who was like following a team and like watching the games. And I was sort of like, you're being weird about this.
Yeah, because it was so inaccessible too. Like it
how'd
just
you find that?
recently
Yeah.
got like something you can actually watch.
Yeah. Well, I do love getting into the World Cup though every 4 years.
Me too.
It's a fun shock to be like, yeah, I'm gay, but
I also, even beyond watching it like once every 4 years, is I love being like, oh, when is that again? Like I love wondering when it's coming, because I feel like whenever I wonder, it's because it's already started and I've just heard it happening.
Yeah.
Like when it happened last time, I remember truly walking by a bar and being like, oh, it looks like they're having fun. You know, when there's the World Cup, we should watch it. And it was fully like the last game, and I was like, oh, next time.
yeah. Should we do straight shooters?
Yeah, I think we should do our first segment.
Our 1st
Let's do
segment. Nico, our first segment is called Straight Shooters, and in this segment, we test your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture by asking you a series of rapid-fire questions where you have to choose this thing or this other thing. And the one rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions ever. And if you do, we will be even more abrasive than we have been this time.
The last 20
minutes.
We will be so abrasive, you'll think the last 20 minutes were a cakewalk.
We'll be like the paparazzi when
Yeah.
Pash and Beck stepped out.
We'll be like the fans at the game yelling
we'll be yelling inappropriate things about Victoria.
Sam's gonna get not normal.
God forbid I get non-normative. I've done it before and I'll do it again.
That should be an empowering t-shirt that just says non-normative. You know, one of my obsessions is when people do photo shoots where they're covered in slurs that they've been called.
Of course.
I'm going to do it, but it's going to say non-normative.
That would actually be beautiful.
Damn. Okay, wait, what's better? A photo shoot where you're Dixie Chick style covered in words that, like whore slut, or photography that's all black and white portraits and one of them has a septum piercing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like one of them has gauges and tattoos.
And they're all in like the
And
same
it's like
black
humanity.
underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you never thought about it in terms of diversity.
It looks like this.
Well, here
too.
they are. They can look like anything, humans.
Some people have piercings.
Don't you think those two were like the two ways people knew how to like interpret the world in the 90s?
Yeah, it's how you showed like drama then.
Yeah.
How you showed acceptance
Yeah.
and pain.
They need to replace all of like the Hyatt in art with that kind of stuff.
That actually could change minds.
Yeah, like in the middle of nowhere, that's where they need that.
Yeah.
That's where they're not seeing it.
Wow. Done. We solved it. Okay, I'll start. Hosting a podcast or posting your fat ass?
Hosting a podcast.
Okay, honoring the dead or elbowing to get ahead?
Honoring the dead.
Okay, classified documents or yassified Michael Pence?
Yassified Michael Pence.
Okay, posturing as woke or streaming queer as folk?
Ooh.
Posturing is woke.
Losing your AirPods or finding one true God?
Finding one true God.
Okay, watering the plants or a learning center for ants?
Wow.
Watering the plants.
Okay, online discourse or offline intercourse?
Offline intercourse.
Wow.
Empowering gay teens or devouring baked beans?
Devouring baked beans.
Wow.
Are the results in?
Yeah. We're waiting for our team of professionals to give us the official score.
We're going to watch somebody run by back there.
Yeah.
We get handed a sheet.
I feel like that was a performance of a former soccer star.
Well, there was obviously confidence there.
There was a confidence, and there was also like a, I know how this works.
It was so confident, and then it actually made me feel a little bit weak.
Well, yeah. I actually think you turned the tables on us, where I actually had the thought, like, wait, am I doing this wrong?
Yeah, I was like, something.
Why is he so confident?
Yeah, I was like, I'm bad at this. And it's
I'm
like, no,
supposed to, we're supposed to make him feel lost.
Yeah, why aren't you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
It made me laugh several times. To be fair, I did just listen to you guys on the way here.
And it was giving that.
Yeah.
It was.
I wanted to
could
be
tell-
prepared.
You could tell that you came prepared.
So I was listening to Mary Beth Barone a while back.
Wow.
Do you feel, yeah.
We were all at that $3 bill incident that you guys were talking about.
Oh my
wow.
God, that's
Yeah.
right. Nico was there.
This event will not die.
This event will not die. I mean, for anyone paying attention back home, basically what happened was I went with Mary Beth and her cisgender male partner.
Talk about Brits.
Talk about
Talk about Brits.
British
He wouldn't stop saying football.
male partner to a gay bar, and then I left being the only one to not make out with someone of the same gender.
Yeah. Everyone was
else.
being LGBTQ.
Everyone,
that night.
everyone that was straight coded LGBTQ was being gay coded LGBTQ, and then
You were being ace.
was being ace.
Which is powerful.
so
$3 bill will do that
powerful.
to you.
Yeah,
It'll change
it
you.
sort of will.
Yeah.
I went to Tai Chi one time, did a couple laps, and said,
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, that place needs some trees. I think if you are listening, Ty Sunderland, plant some trees.
Yes, you're exactly right. Shade is what that needs. It was so hot and sunny.
It's so hot and you're just
Yeah.
on pavement.
And it's like everybody's just lights on, gotta be ready to go.
I'm like, we need to rethink, I'll say it, congregation in general from the bottom up.
What do you propose?
Like, I'm really like, do you feel recently, and maybe I just I'm lame and I'm not going out enough and I need to explore more, but I think so few things when it comes to going out excite me anymore, including like simple things like a bar or a restaurant. Like, I need something. Concerts suck because everyone's on their phone.
And it's too crowded.
Restaurants, inflation, don't get me started.
Don't get him started.
Bars, weirdly, well drinks are getting worse, and I'm not going to elaborate on that.
No, this is true. No one's called New York Magazine because I've ordered tequila sodas for my entire life. Recently,
They're undrinkable.
They're undrinkable. I've literally sipped them and been like, oh.
Like
And
they taste horrible or they're not getting you drunk?
they taste horrible. They burn in a way
Yeah.
that's like
They've invented new spirits.
New well
that are
spirits
worse.
just dropped.
I'm sure they found something way cheaper.
Yeah,
It's
well, it's like rubbing
horrible.
alcohol. Wait, okay, so Nico, what is your like ideal night out?
I love outdoor hangs.
Okay,
Roofs, backyards, decks,
true.
whatever. I like there just to be the people there that I want to talk to.
Music-wise, what are we talking?
Oh, kind of depends on what time of year it is, but I think something that's like upbeat so I'm not going to fall asleep.
But you're
not
not
like-
actively dancing.
I like if there's more than one section to the party, so there's somewhere
Agreed.
you can hang, somewhere you can dance.
Of course.
Yes.
I like to be able to have options and not have to do one thing the whole time. I love to smoke weed, so I love if there's weed there.
Ooh.
I like that more than drinking. I'll drink too,
Wow.
but I'm not really. I haven't gotten like drunk in a while.
Okay, you're judging us.
No, not at all.
Huh, I guess not everyone in this room is wearing a shirt with an H for hungover. suddenly I'm being othered again.
Yeah.
In my own red studio.
So
I'm weird.
No, I'm not normative. So there's two of us.
So suddenly
one
we're,
of you,
we're saying soccer and you're saying football, and we're in the UK.
Somebody get the photographer. We gotta get these photos on the wall.
Oh God.
They should do one of those photography exhibitions, but it's all podcasters in really dramatic black and white portraits.
The current queer podcasters.
The current queer podcasters. You know, we're not that far off from it.
Hey. You hear that?
I think you're trying to create silence so you can prove your point.
Now I'm addicted to it, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
Of course.
You're being so old. You're Zach Galifianakis in Between Two Ferns.
That's true. I'm looking for silence. I'm looking for uncomfort.
I wonder if the silence thing has, like, do you feel more comfortable with silence on stage?
George is like 100%. He's always quiet up there.
We're waiting for him to talk up there.
Yeah, seriously, pick it up. I mean, I actually did have a similar experience where I was like watching a set that I did, and I was like, why am I pausing for so long? Like I was like, hello, like now's when you start talking. And it was sort of like in the moment it feels right. Like I'm like waiting for the laughter to go away. But in like watching the tape, I'm like, I look stupid.
It's hard to know what to do when you're waiting to like say the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
it's like, hey guys, be quiet. I'm gonna say the next thing now.
Yeah. Sometimes you forget that you're not in conversation. You're like, oh right, it's still me.
Yeah. Oh, more me. Me again. Right, of course. That's what I signed up to do.
Q&As. How did I think of that one? Does anyone want to know?
Yeah.
I had a going out thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I actually am torn on a house gathering these days.
Wow. Okay.
There's something about like there's one person, two in charge. And that creates a weird there's a dictator. It's a dictatorship. And of course, if they're benevolent, that can be good. But sometimes if they're too benevolent, they make you feel bad too.
Do you know what is one of the most queer LGBTQ plus thing that can happen? Someone hosting a party in someone else's house. You have a rich friend that has a really nice house. They give it to you to host your birthday.
That is extremely LGBTQ+.
It's very like, and there's something fucked up about it.
Oh.
You're like, I'm like pissing in someone else's bedroom.
Because also you just know there's no way the person is going to be like chill.
Of course.
And if they're like smiling, they're crying on the inside and they're furious and they're never going to forgive you. Should we get into the topic?
I think we have to. And I actually would love it, Nico, if you could tell us what the topic is and then tell us what you think is straight about it.
Yes. So my topic is the antics and games and etc. that's happening at a live sporting event. So I'm talking about anything happening on the Jumbotron, anything the mascots are up to, t-shirt cannons, the wave, any of that.
This is such a good topic.
Very straight to me.
It's genius.
Because it's a lot of families and kids that are participating in this in a very straight, hetero, family, capitalist unit kind of way. And what really made me think about this is I went to a Mets game a couple months ago. And have you guys seen Mrs. Met?
Oh, yeah.
I
actually stand Mrs. Met.
I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed. They made her so curvy. They were like, this is a woman. Hair, everything about her. They made her, like, her Instagram account. I'm trying to do justice for her. So listeners at home, please go follow Mrs. Met on Instagram because both are accounts run by the Mets organization. Mr. Met has like 70K followers. He's verified. Mrs. Met 00. Not even just Mrs. Met. Mrs. Met 00.
Oh no.
In case you forgot, she's got like an ass or something for the double zero on the back. 6K followers, not verified.
6K?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's the official Mrs. Met?
Yes, because they post
Oh my
together.
God, she's like private, it's her Finsta. She's like, I fucking hate baseball.
She's like, I hate baseball, I love my husband. Yeah, that's kind of her vibe. But she's always posting about Taylor Swift. I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with whoever's running this account. But anyway, very straight in the way that they're doing mascots, kind of not as these like genderless characters, but more so one man, one woman.
Yeah.
To kind of unite all of Long Island.
Yeah. Monogamy.
In the Mets organization. So that's really what brought me to think about it. Okay. But also like every time somebody's on the Jumbotron,
Jumbotron proposals.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a straight thing. Yeah. But I love every time somebody's on a Jumbotron. I feel like you learn about a lot about a person because they're really shy or they do that like kind of like, that's me. Like, oh my God, waving at myself. Like, who are you waving at?
Sure, there's a simplicity to it.
Right, it's like, that's me. Like, something really like, you haven't examined yourself a lot, I don't think, because you're seeing yourself for the first time.
Totally. It's like seeing a cat look in the mirror.
Yes, in a way that I think queer people have like had to look at themselves enough that that's not
Well, they're addicted to
constant.
it.
Yeah.
Wow. This is such a rich topic. I don't even know where to...
One thing that immediately jumps out to me
Yes.
is that I'm sort of like, sports are supposed to be exciting, period. Like,
Yep.
Why
Yes.
do you have to put icing on it, ribbon? Like, it's sort of like, where's the purity here?
Yeah.
Here's what it reminds me of.
What?
It reminds me of movie theaters like Nighthawk and Alamo that also serve buffalo cauliflower. And you're like, I'm actually trying to watch a film
Yeah.
in German. So how about you actually stop making this into a joke, because I'm not in the circus. I'm in a movie theater.
Yeah.
It does. When you are eating a mozzarella stick while watching a film, you're at the carnival now. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make it. It's like, it can't be art.
I was fine with the original choices, popcorn candy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm fine with like a hot dog at a sporting event.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't need it to be like Bear and Ivo van Hove production of a sporting event where it's just like white walls and people like kicking around just like one billiard. Like, I'm okay with there being some sort of drama to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kiss cam, I feel like in today's era, this is my like canceled, this is where I go hard, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't even do the kiss cam anymore.
No,
But like, can you do the kiss
it's
cam
true.
now?
It's true.
Does it?
We're
do
me tooing
people-
the kiss cam.
I mean, truly talk about like, I mean, it used to be sweet that and like fun that two strangers were on a kiss cam and literally the guy would just like grab the woman and kiss her and everyone would be like, "Aw,"
And then
that's good.
And then they do the punchline where it's two guys, and it's like, well, that's not right.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the classic like two guys doing the joke where they almost kiss and then they're like, no.
And a standing ovation from
Standing
everybody
ovation.
at Shea
Everyone's
Stadium.
like, "Yay, we thought they were gay, but they're straight." Okay, wait. The Jumbotron is a really rich topic because to me, it's like you can see in people's eyes that are about to be corrupted by the power, and then then the screen moves away from them.
If you leave
You know
it
what I
on a
mean?
person for too long, the fame will literally
They
get
will
to
literally
them.
become an influencer. They
Yeah.
will become tinks within seconds.
Thanks. I love when it goes back to the same person when they kind of keep dipping back from the same well. Some like crotchety man or a child.
Totally.
I actually think it's as immoral as child acting to put a child, to make a child go viral on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Because now you're not safe in this. It's not live theater anymore.
No.
It's for everybody. It's going on ESPN. It's going on Instagram.
Oh my God.
It used to be just what we have here live, and it's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
It's reels.
It's all reels, even at the Mets games.
Even the Mets game is reels.
Yeah.
Reels have ruined everything.
I almost think we're in the last days even of the Jumbotron being spontaneous. From now on, everyone that's going to be on the Jumbotron will have a full lip sync prepared that they will do like in their seats. I'm even shocked it has gone this far where you can still see just like a little girl being cute.
Yeah.
I wonder if people just in general too are more prepared for the possibility of being on camera.
Oh my God,
We're
they have
all
a
more
bag
camera
of
ready.
props.
Yeah. She's like, wait, I have a wig. But like, I feel like even anybody, it's just like we have cameras on our phones. Like, we're camera ready.
Yeah.
More so than we would have been a decade ago or 2 decades ago. Like, even just people who are not performers or actors or anything like that. Like, you're just used to taking videos of yourself.
Yeah.
It's also toxic when there are actors at the game, then the Jumbotron goes on them, and then suddenly they're all shy, and they're like,
yeah.
and it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
You're addicted to the limelight.
Literally.
Yeah.
And now you're being like, I'm just a normal guy. It's like, no, you're not.
Totally. Well, but that's, it's like how we've talked about this, like how really rich people are not going to wear like a giant Gucci logo. It's like real famous people, they don't care about the Jumbotron. They're like, well, that's for plebeians that get their 1 millisecond of fame.
Yeah, I'm not going
For
to wave
me-
at myself in front of you fuckers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's a Wednesday when I'm shooting with Yorgos Lanthimos. Okay. Jumbotron mascots.
Jumbotron, the wave.
The wave.
So the wave is complicated because that actually is chosen family.
Well, it's collectivism.
It's socialism.
It's socialism,
Yeah.
even communism.
It's communism. In that moment, you are one. You're unionizing with your fellow audience members
it's a
for art.
grassroots movement.
And listen, in a divided as ever nation, it's becoming rarer and rarer that I'm seeing a good wave be done.
Wow. And are you surprised?
No,
I mean, with the way our media environment is?
The state of the world right now. People are not ready to commit to a wave. Like
let me tell you something. Half the people think a wave is a different thing than the other half of the people. They're living in a different reality.
Yeah. You got to be full stand.
Yeah.
Hands up.
If you're not using your hands, then get out of the stadium.
Head to toe, full commit. Full commit.
I have to say, I love seeing a wave. When there's a good wave, I'm
magical.
in heaven.
And actually, to me, the wave is one end of the spectrum. It's the collectivism of everyone coming together. Jumbotron is the other end. It's celebrity. It's individualistic. It is neoliberal. It is 15 seconds of fame. It's social media influencer. And actually, the fact that people dream more of being on the Jumbotron than being part of a wave, that's the problem.
It's
with
a
our country.
sickness.
It's a sickness. And you know where they don't dream of that? Scandinavian countries.
They don't even have cameras.
They don't even have cameras there.
Yeah.
Everyone's just constantly doing the wave at the hospital where they don't have to pay money.
On their bikes.
On their bikes.
Okay, I have something. Okay, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Sia will like randomly give out like $100,000 at the end of Survivor to like one person that she likes? I would actually love to be a multi-billionaire, and when the wave is good, I give everyone $100. So sports stadiums around the globe are like, come on, guys, we really got to nail this wave, or we're gonna get $100.
But I'm sorry, like you're making it more capitalist. They should want to just be collective.
Oops. It could be so. Imagine it's like they're imagining a billionaire in the wings judging their wave.
It's very Beyonce's mute challenge where you want her to think you're the best city.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, did she have a challenge at the concert?
Wow,
Yes,
you literally live on a different internet than we do. That's amazing.
I just broke Sam's mind.
No, I actually do hate this. Now I'm like, oh no. Like when you think there's monoculture and then it's not monoculture, then I get scared.
100%.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, obviously, very aware of the Renaissance tour.
Of course.
Was watching lots
So
of
Beyonce's
videos.
a singer.
But what was the
Basically, all you have to know is that at some point she's like, everybody on mute. There are the lyrics to a song called Energy, and everybody knows in the audience that that's when they stop talking. And so there's like this 1 second.
The power of silence.
The power of. Wow.
I have chills.
I actually can't believe this.
That's amazing.
Okay, so basically they never had to stop talking, which, you know, in a giant concert is hard. Everyone has to sort of be on the same page. And when you see videos of this, there's always some person that doesn't know about it. So everyone else is silent and one person's like,
and then there's always videos of people like rolling their eyes at the person yelling.
Yeah.
And it's like, St. Louis crushed it. Or like, Houston, what's wrong with you guys?
But literally, if you went to the Renaissance store, no offense, you'd be the person not being quiet because you didn't know about it.
But I would rather die than stick out like that. So the second I realized everybody was quiet, I would.
But it's just 1 second.
It's quick.
I would hope I was going with people who would warn me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually collectivism. Yeah, and helping your fellow man.
Helping your fellow man.
I did have to. Just in case, I warned my boyfriend because he doesn't use the internet.
He has never used it.
He's not allowed.
Sam is.
They kicked him off.
Sort of, yeah. It's a little mommy dearest, but boyfriend.
I can't have him learning these things. What if he finds out there's other gay guys?
Yeah,
I'm done for.
Yeah, Misha thinks Sam's the only other gay guy.
You guys avoid Hell's Kitchen like the plague.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just like, no.
No, that's how people dress.
He's just city. He's city.
He's actually homophobic. Don't talk to him.
We call that metrosexual.
Yeah. He just learned about metrosexual.
Yeah, I let him learn.
The internet,
Right, of course.
So he's still sort of catching up. He's like, oh, I just heard about David Beckham.
Yeah, I don't think we should shame much anymore, but people who don't know how to shut the fuck up at concerts or just like don't want to be the one to stand out that way.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when everyone now of course we get to pop girlies. It just happens. The topic is sports and we're like, so yeah, Beyonce and but remember when everyone was making fun of Lorde for shushing the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
And it was
Have you seen these videos?
I have seen that, yeah.
Yes. So Lorde's a singer. And
no, I think people should shush audiences more.
I want to shush audiences all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, we need to find more fun ways to be negative. Like, everything is like, let me hear you make some noise. There should be like a fun way to be like, simmer down.
Let me hear you shut the fuck up.
Everyone be quiet starting now.
Well, I
guess Beyonce did invent a way to be fun about telling everyone to shut up.
I actually do like sort of appreciate. We can go back to sports soon, I promise. But I do appreciate like Doja Cat having a healthy disdain for her fan base. I think that's actually groundbreaking and new.
Yeah, but then all of them, myself included, like love being dommed, and it's like if Doja Cat like slapped me across the face, I'd be like, love that.
That is such an I feel like there's more people, not to get back into reels and shit, but I find there's a lot of comedians these days who are blowing up on the internet, and that's attracting a certain fan base who is chronically online and engaging with these things and crowd work. So then they get to their shows, and it's just people who want to yell at them.
Yeah, it's people shouting out like, I'm on a first date.
Yeah, and you're like in the middle of it. And so I think there's more people that are like struggling with that disdain for their audience because they're like, oh, this is not what I wanted, but you reap what you sow, I guess.
I mean, what a beautiful episode of Black Mirror that will be one day.
Literally.
Okay, wait, Nico, I want to know, what are other antics? We've discussed Jumbotron. We've discussed the Wave. We've discussed I mean, we haven't gotten into mascots other than Mrs. Matt.
Mrs. Matt, yeah. I will say the last thing I was also thinking about is the games that they put up on the Jumbotron.
Right. I mean, yes.
Where we all pretend we don't know which ball the hat is under. And I don't know why they've designed those for 7-year-olds.
To me, that is like going to a movie and it's Maria Menounos doing trivia.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There is something so lo-fi and uncool about it that I almost respect it.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't upgraded it once.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit of a different game or any harder.
Can I actually include one more thing in sporting event antics that I think toes the line in terms of its straightness? Is like insane renditions of the national anthem.
Yes.
Well, that's definitely the gay part.
The queering of the national anthem.
Well, it is, but it's also like they're singing the national anthem.
Right. They're like, you can it's a compromise.
It's domesticating gay sensibility by being like, yeah, we'll have Lady Gaga, but she's literally going to be singing like, we're going to Iraq.
It's a compromise.
Yeah, it's a compromise.
They also make somebody do the first pitch at baseball games. Forcing people to have to throw.
That is traumatic. That scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, when even like I remember when Matt Rogers did that, and I was like, my heart was racing.
Yeah. Oh my God. He did an incredible job.
He did a great job.
I remember watching that and being just absolutely proud. I don't know him at all, but I was like, that was incredible.
Multiple StraightioLab guests have actually thrown the first pitch in a Mets game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
I'm just saying, it's true.
And yet our reels don't blow up.
Our reels don't blow up even when they are in them.
This is the power of straight radio.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, how do you think you would crush if you were to throw the first pitch?
I would want to practice because I think I can. I know I can throw well. I have a good arm. I'm generally athletic, but it's really far away. I think people don't realize how far that is.
It's far enough that it could go so wrong.
Yeah.
Like you think you're going to get it somewhere around where you need to get it. I would accidentally throw it like to my left.
Yeah.
I mean, do they let you redo it if you mess up?
I don't think so.
Live audience.
But also, wait, here's a question.
Theater.
And this is ignorant of me, but it's like when you're throwing the first pitch, quote unquote, is there someone there batting? Like,
no.
Okay, so you're just throwing a ball.
That would get dicey because if that person got hit in the face or something, that would really.
Okay, so basically it's giving life as a cabaret.
That's theater.
Okay.
It's like this is about what's about to happen for the next hour or so.
That is so fascinating.
Yeah. It's actually weird because
performance in this, the two types of performances are literally someone singing an insane rendition of the national anthem and then a random celebrity throwing a ball to no one.
To nothing.
I mean, talk about Dada.
Those were like the original spaces for actors and influencers to come to the games. And now they've obviously expanded well beyond that. But those are kind of the OG.
I wish they would let you pick one move. Like you can either pitch or you can hit or you can slide. Like I would love to do like one thing. And because it's like, what if I'm not a pitcher? Like I would actually rather hit the ball. I think that would be more fun and could still make a splash, of course.
Yeah, and then you get to run the bases.
Don't you think it's more embarrassing if you miss the ball with a bat than if you throw poorly?
They're both pretty embarrassing. I mean, either way, I'm having a meltdown.
Yeah.
But I do think if I were to miss hitting the ball, I would make them redo it. I'd be like, throw it again.
Put it on a tee.
Put it on. Oh, actually, yeah. If it was on a tee, then
T-ball.
Oh, but have you ever swung and missed in T-ball? Nothing.
That's pretty tough.
Nothing hurts more than that.
Yeah. The success rate, the odds of success are higher, but the devastation of failure is much worse. Yeah.
One time, when I was a kid, we would go to like the local, I forget what league it's called, but the baseball league that's not quite the big one.
Little League?
Minor league?
Maybe the minor league?
Like professional, but
yeah.
Oh, minor league.
Minor league, but smaller. But major league, but babies.
Yeah.
But I like, for my birthday one year, I was like, I got to like sit in the weird like couch that's like elevated, and I was like, and I thought it would be like the best day of my life, because when we had gone, I'd be able to see people in the couch and be like, that looks amazing. And then I was over there, and it was really like, I'm not happy here. And I was like, didn't like being solo. Like I was like, there's too much attention on me.
It was just you on the couch.
It was me and like my dad. And I was sort of like, this is too much. Yeah. Like I need to be part of the masses.
Yeah.
It was sort of the, it was my lucky era.
But I also think that is, again, sports at its best is a way for people to come together. Yeah. And that is a way to make it less collectivist and more individualist.
Yeah.
Wait, on the topic of minor league, I can't even believe I didn't think about this until literally just now, but I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and in Savannah there is, originally the minor league team was the Savannah Sand Gnats, and they were horrible and nobody went. And then somebody bought them and renamed the team, voted on by the city in the paper, the Savannah Bananas. And they have full yellow uniforms, and they have become this sort of like hybrid, like where they do have some real baseball games, and sometimes they're kind of like Harlem Globetrotter-esque, where they do like TikTok dances, and like the whole team is doing a dance, and then the guy throws a pitch, and they have like a team that they always play, that they always beat, like the Harlem Globetrotters did, and it's crazy. So it's like Antics like turned up to 1,000.
Wow.
You have to check it out. I'll send you guys some Instagrams.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's pretty nuts.
Do you like it?
I mean, every game sells out. The Savannah baseball team has never been in better hands. It's never been more popular.
This is, I'm sorry, a minor league team?
It's a minor league baseball team in Savannah.
Are they, I mean, the minor leagues are still a league. Like, or do they still have to?
Do they have no self-respect?
No. So it's kind of this weird thing where I think like it's...
Everyone else in on the joke?
Yes.
So when they play another team, does the other team like not care about winning or losing?
So I don't know if they have like, I think they have a split schedule where there's games where they actually go play real baseball, and then they have certain games that are like Banana Time, or it's called like Banana Land or something like that, and it's like they have like the Macon is another city in Georgia. They have the Macon Bacon come, and they play them, and that's like another like goofy team. But it's like doing flips into the base and like dancing, craziness.
I like can't decide how I feel about this.
Yeah, my initial reaction is like, do you ever, when you meet someone who's like doing bits too much, and you're like, just go on stage, get this out of your system, I don't want to be around this. That's kind of how I feel about the Savannah Bananas.
Literally, it's like, stop doing the bit. I want to talk to you or not.
Yeah.
So where I went to college, a big, like, decades-long running joke that was a big part of the campus culture, and everyone accepted it, was that the marching band was literally drunk and on like hallucinogens, did not know how to play instruments, and was just like a huge mess. And like it would be like everyone would know that was the deal. I think then there was like some scandal, and now maybe it's banned because they were literally all like doing too many drugs or something. I don't know the details. But then like when other teams would come with normal marching bands, like the other teams, like fans would like boo our band knowing that was their whole thing, and they were like making a mockery out of the game. And I feel similarly about that, where I'm like, okay, you would think I would be in support of such an ethos. I mean, they are actually being court jesters at a sporting event.
Of course.
But I'm like, wait a minute. Something's not right here.
Well, when the joke is like, we're just bad, it's sort of like, okay, I get it. Like, let's elevate this a little bit.
It's a bit one note at that point,
Music joke.
I'm a Beyonce listener, what can I say?
Yeah, it sort of fell flat.
But yeah, I've not been to a game. My grandma loves them. She's always sending me pictures.
Oh, wow. So, she does their socials?
She's got their socials.
Okay, what about a t-shirt gun?
Huh.
Guns are straight.
Guns are straight,
so.
But fashion is not.
It's kind of like making Lady Gaga sing the national anthem. It's similar.
Totally. It's a compromise.
Yeah, when they're shooting the Pride Mets shirts out of those cannons.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we all meet in the middle, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
There's something about it where I'm actually like, I'm coming around to all of it, where I'm like, it's so random that I almost have to respect it. like all these antics. Like there's something so directionless and disorganized about it. Like it's literally like you're going.
There's
like,
no rhyme or reason to any of it.
It's like some like visual gag in a movie where you enter a room and everyone's like one person's like banging their head against the wall, one person's like peeing in the corner, one person is like slapping themselves, like a monkey with cymbals. Like it's just like no one knows what to do. They're just like so excited to be at an event that they're just like being insane. And it's almost like Dionysian.
Sure, it's a bacchanal.
It's a bacchanal.
Sure. That actually does make me like it.
Yeah.
It's like they're going into the woods and
totally. You know where that doesn't happen? Like at a theater, at a restaurant. Like everyone's too well behaved.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have actually left we've allowed straight spaces to be the only spaces where you can be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And we need to reclaim that.
Yeah. Either straight spaces or Ty Sunderland parties at $3 bill.
Yeah.
I think I have a way for us to reclaim, because the only places these sporting events are not super straight are women's professional soccer games and women's professional basketball games.
Oh,
okay.
So that is where we have to go.
Oh, we have to make women's sports into a joke.
No, not into a joke. Just somewhere where gay people can be silly.
I see. Okay.
And also supporting.
Silly. What's tough about women's sports is the following, is that because they're such underdogs and you actually want to go there and earnestly support them and make a statement of it, it feels crazy. It feels wrong to show up in a shirt that's like, has like, a dumb meme on it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's hard.
But I like where you're going.
But at the end of the day, getting people there at the games
exactly.
is huge.
Yeah, by the way, a women's sporting team needs to have a funny mascot is the solution.
They do though, right?
Who?
Doesn't I only know this from
the
like
Liberty
Rachel
has
Callie's.
an elephant.
The Liberty has an elephant.
But I don't know what she's up to.
Yeah, and is it a she because it's women's sports? And does the elephant have a Mrs. Met?
I hope if the elephant has a missus, it better be another damn missus. It better be two women.
That actually could be so groundbreaking.
Literally, I think that would fix actually a lot of what we're talking about. Is if the elephant that's the mascot of the New York Liberty has a lesbian elephant lover.
Yes.
Wow.
That looks similar but has sort of a Leah Delaria haircut. I think that could be big.
Yes, that or they're explicitly T for T.
Yeah. Oh my God, they should do that. But,
wow.
Yeah. 2 T for T elephant.
But I have a bunch of friends that play in the NWSL, which is the professional women's soccer league in the U.S. And so I went to see one of them play when they came to Gotham, which is our team here in the city. And the big like supporters section is just like full of lesbians and queer people like running it like the Marines, but having a great time and doing like a lot of fun stuff. But there's not the same like Jumbotron kind of antics and stuff. So like if those folks could have influence on what's happening with the game, then I think it could be like a mixture of that craziness, but also in pro queer, pro women, pro what's happening on the field.
Yeah, I think we need to figure out a way to like do things that are queer without having it feel like we're eating our vegetables. Like the way that straight people are just like going to the game and being like, we are being bad, we are off the rails today, and I'm being a bad person, and they just have fun with that.
Yeah,
we need to go to a game, a women's game, and be like, this is not for charity, I'm here to be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's revolutionary.
That's revolutionary.
To go beyond having to be like, we have to support women's sports and be like,
totally.
I'm here because I want to fuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm actually yelling I'm distracting the players. I'm getting kicked out. Do you know what I can't believe we haven't addressed? Cheerleading.
That's so vintage and classic that I almost don't consider it antics. And in fact, because it requires so much athleticism, that is the sport.
You're right. And it is
it's a sport within a sport.
Cheerleading is a sport.
Yeah.
Just because it's women, they don't get respect and they are sexually harassed.
Yep. The Brooklyn Nets have the Brooklynettes, which that's their dance cheer team's name.
Of course.
Which is an iconic name.
Yeah.
I don't know the other ones, though. The Lakers... What are they?
Laker girls.
Laker girls. Cowboy cheerleaders. I think they're just called the Cowboy cheerleaders, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they don't even give them fun names.
Not even the Cowgirls? It's right there.
Right?
Yeah. This is where it gets sort of Inception vibes, because the games have games within games. Like if you're at the basketball game, then also you're seeing like the cup game on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
So do cheerleaders are already, this is a sport within the sport. and then also they'll do little games within cheerleading. Like
Yeah.
I keep seeing like the same viral video of like the like guard who's like doesn't look like he's just like a sort of beefy guy, and then like guess what? He knows all the choreo, and everyone goes, "Whoa, this is crazy! I had no idea."
You're right that there are too many. It's sort of like the original like cacophony of our current media environment. Is like you go to a game, you're trying to watch the sport, and someone literally next to you is like eating a hot dog in a funny way and going viral for it.
Games are the original social media.
Games are the original social media.
You know how? Okay, you know how like. Have you tried to read an article on like RollingStone.com
Don't
recently?
even get me started. There is literally like one sliver of text that is surrounded by 4 different videos, and one of them is porn.
Yeah, 100%. And then even like it'll stop scrolling. It'll be like you have to watch the entire video to move forward in this article. That's what games are like.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm supposed to follow the ball?
Yeah.
There's so much happening.
There is so much happening. What's been upsetting me recently on online ads and YouTube stuff, I keep getting YouTube ads for scary movies. I don't think I should just be subjected to that.
Totally.
Scary. I'm afraid.
Yeah, you need to get your
I don't want
child
to see
locks down.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah. Because I'm getting Exorcist videos and it's like, no, I don't want to see that.
Wow. Well, it is like, okay, if we're going to like individualize the internet for every single person and give like specific ads for everyone, it's like, well, then do a better job.
Yeah.
Then let's like give me exactly what I want at all times.
Well, that is the sort of punchline of everything in our society right now, which is like everything is dystopian and you can't even do it well.
You
Like,
mean there's idiots running this thing?
Literally, it's like, wait, so I can't read an article and I don't even like the ads that I'm forced to read instead of reading the article?
Wow. Yeah, you're actually genius.
Like, the incompetence is staggering.
Yeah. We don't even get a choice of the games we're
don't-
watching
exactly.
at the games.
Yeah.
And I actually think that is why Trump spoke to people. It's because they were like, okay, we know all politicians suck. At least this guy's funny.
Wow. See, we told you we would go on a hard right wing turn at some point. Wow. I mean, to get to that's the punchline of our entire society. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And by the way, I use the word punchline intentionally because it's a joke. Our society.
No, I honey, I got it. I think they all got it.
I like when you both turn into the iHeartRadio mic here really gets to you both and you really turn into a
We love
a radio.
turning into
It's
Joe Rogan.
crazy.
Oh, it's fun. I like it.
It's because we're normal. We're not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normative.
Yeah.
Because you like talk about the medium is the message. I mean, as soon as I'm here, I'm like, well, even though I'm talking the same way I would, but now it feels different.
Yeah.
Nico, any final thoughts on sporting game antics?
I want them to spice it up. I want them to do new things because it's the same stuff at every game, so I'd love to see them be innovating. But I did like what you were saying earlier about how it's really just a cacophony of it's almost like brown noise. Where you're like, you know, when do you guys listen to brown noise when you're unfocused?
No.
So it's like white noise, but a different frequency.
Huh.
But it's supposed to be good if you have if you're like buzzed and you need to like focus, like feeling like any like ADHD.
What makes it
God.
different than white noise?
Just a different frequency.
Why didn't anyone tell me about
I'm not
this?
a
I didn't know
scientist.
white
I just
noise
learned about
was
this
one
recently.
frequency. Okay,
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but that is apparently the difference. But anyway, it's like kind of just this like staticky noise,
Oh, I would
but
love
it's at a frequency that makes you just kind of drown it out.
Huh.
So similarly, I think the games
should
are
play
running
that.
at a brown noise kind of thing.
No, literally.
Where you're just kind of like, you can tune in, you can tune out of it.
And by the way, the ultimate game antic is the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, that's the
It's like
peak.
this is what we've all been. It's what it's all been leading up to. Is that here you guys get a concert? Stupid F slurs.
Wait, I think Usher's this year, right? Did they do that?
Which actually is a slang.
I think that would be really
it's kinda
fun.
fun.
I liked when they did 2 years ago. Was it last year or 2 years ago when they just had like a bunch of people that each did like a minute 30 of their
Totally.
songs.
They've done that. I mean, it's like I feel like that was what the. I mean, even when the first time Beyonce did it, there was like Coldplay, Beyonce, Bruno Mars.
I think that was
Remember?
the second time she did it.
Oh, the second time.
If it's unpaid, they should just do it like that. Like give a bunch of people
Totally.
a little bit and make it, because that was so fun. Like
I mean, even the famous Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, that was like many different people.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
were,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
each coming out. No, but I agree. But you know what? I will say, a special guest star at the halftime show still gets me to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Usher bringing out, like, Little John to do
I'll be in heaven.
Shitting my pants.
Oh, they better.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the halftime show if you're not doing that? And is Little John booked on a Sunday?
I don't think he's booked on a Tuesday.
Oh my God. When I was in college, who came to see? Oh, I'm blanking out. T-Pain came. He was doing the college circuit, I guess.
Yep.
Down bad. And he did like 2 of his own songs, and then he just did covers for the rest of it.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was, and he honestly was a great singer. But then somebody threw a beach ball up onto the stage, and he left. He was I'm not doing this.
That's you don't throw things at a performer.
For sure.
I mean, it is a beach ball, though. It seems
no.
He might have provided the beach ball or his team.
Right. How the beach balls got there.
College students don't just have beach balls lying around.
They're certainly not bringing their own in. But yeah.
Yeah. I think he was looking for a reason to leave. I think he was
wow, that was a real pioneer of the throwing things at pop stars craze that happened a few months ago.
Yeah, that really came and went.
That came and went.
I saw a video of like Nick Jonas on stage where people were throwing things at him, and he was like yelling stop, and people were like, oh my God, he looks so mad. And it's like, yeah, people are throwing things.
Wait, okay, I'm being so ADD today, not to use illness as a metaphor, but
oh my God.
Speaking of Nick Jonas, I feel like Priyanka Chopra has a similar thing of David Beckham coming here to join the MLS, where it's like she was the biggest superstar back home, and she came here, and it's like she can't crack it. Like,
what was she a superstar of?
I think just acting.
Oh,
I think she was like a huge star in like Bollywood movies, right? Yeah.
Oh.
See.
Similar to David Beckham being everything to them.
David Beckham was also a huge Bollywood star.
Soccer second. Bollywood first.
All right.
Wow. Should we do our final segment?
I think it's time.
Okay. Our final segment is called Shoutouts. And, in this segment, we pay homage to the great straight oral tradition of the radio shoutout, where we just shout out to anything that we enjoy. And I actually do have one.
Go ahead.
What's up, free solutions and perverts out there? I want to give a huge shout out to Keira Knightley in The Pride and the Prejudice. The Pride and the Prejudice. I watched this film this week and I said, I don't think I'm going to like this. I don't know if I want to get all into this. And then guess what? I'm loving it. I'm thinking this movie is incredible. I'm saying, I get it now. Finally, I get a big cornerstone of all of culture. It is nice to be a part of something. And Keira Knightley, chomp, chomp, chomp. She is eating. And I said, she is good. I said, bring her back. Where has she been? I need her again in my life. She's a star. I did feel that movie made me body conscious. I was like, wow, why don't I look like that? Why would I ever? But at the same time, why not? So watch the film, but be in a good headspace because you are going to want a different face and body afterwards. So The Pride, The Prejudice, XOXO, Sam.
Woo! Yeah.
Wow. Also, way to bring it back to Bend It Like Beckham.
I mean,
true.
Say that.
Icon.
That top. Keira Knightley wears a top and Bend It Like Beckham. That was really formative for both of us.
Yeah, it's that thing where actually, I think a lot of people realize that top was very important to them. Yeah. But it was
the original going out top. It was all downhill from there. Okay, I'm trying to decide between two things I want to do. Okay, I'll do this one. What's up, restaurant diners out there? That's right, if you're making a reservation on Resy or even Open Table, boy, have I got a suggestion for you. I want to give a shout out to going to a restaurant that at the end gives you a commemorative postcard when you sign the check, taking that postcard, taking 2 postcards, and you're with a friend, and each of you writes a little note to the other, and you exchange the postcards, then you have that as a little memento from when you went to the restaurant. I have now done this twice with 2 friends, and I've put both postcards on my fridge. They remind me of positive moments with my dear friends. They don't take up any space, so you can actually even have a collection of them, and the postcard says what restaurant you were at, and it says the date and what friend you were at. And talk about scrapbooking, I don't even have to do anything. Other people can do it for me, and I can just go home and put it in a folder. So get out, and by the way, it's always nice to receive a gift and give a gift that does not have any money attached to it, and actually means more than if you were to buy someone, a sort of framed print.
Yeah.
So get out there and sign postcards for your friends.
Woo! I love that, actually.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it's a good in-between, because you're a gift girl, but that's a gift that's not, you don't have to really buy.
It's also so equal. You're literally each doing the same exact thing.
So fun.
But then, of course, you get competitive about what note you write.
Yeah, what if they really tear it up?
Really tear it up.
And you were just like, fun dinner, chicken tenders to die for.
Yeah, but you know
that
what's
barbecue
also
dipping sauce.
But here's inevitably what you will write: an inside joke from that dinner. It's like something came up during the dinner, and then you're like, haha, green table. Nico, whenever you're ready.
All right. I won't have a meltdown like the episode I listened to. No shade. Love to her. What's up, everybody at home? It's cuffing season, so I have a show for you to watch to test the limits of your love. It's called Temptation Island. It's on Peacock if you have that, if you're one of the few people like me who has Peacock. Temptation Island is a show where they take 4 heterosexual couples, they split them up into 2 villas, and then they bring in 12 singles of the opposite sex to test if those relationships will stand the test of a month being apart. And they show each other footage of the other person.
Oh my God.
Often breaking a romantic contract of some sort. Yeah. So if you at home have a relationship that you want to test on the rocks, maybe submit to Temptation Island. And if you're also just looking for something crazy to watch, can't recommend it enough.
Wow.
Think about your own love life. Think about it's also hosted by somebody named Mark Wahlberg, not the one you're thinking of.
Oh.
No, Mark L. Wahlberg, they started putting, just to make it clear in the credits.
That is confusing.
He's really getting into this, like the psychosis of people in a pretty impressive way. I don't know what his background is, but I would guess psychology.
Probably psychology.
Yeah, so can't recommend it enough. Have a great weekend.
Wow. I love, they need more. I mean, I love the trend of like reality shows where the villain is your own horniness.
Yeah.
I think that is so powerful.
Or your partner of 7 years.
Yeah.
Or the person you came to test your love with. No, it's really crazy.
The idea of testing one's relationship, I think, is very like in vogue right now with a lot of these reality shows.
It's so straight people.
I mean, but it's just like, I understand someone being delusional and thinking they can go on The Real World or The Housewives without embarrassing themselves, but to think you're not going to embarrass yourself going somewhere explicitly to test your relationship, I mean, you deserve everything that's coming to you, including death threats.
Well, the problem is they're not getting death threats, they're getting partnerships with brands, and they're getting...
Yeah. That's true. No, it's pretty crazy. It's bringing back craziness in reality TV, though, so check it out.
Right. Thank God.
Check it out.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for doing the pod.
Thank you guys for having me. I was thrilled to be here.
Wait, and Nico, now do you want to promote your podcast?
Oh, sure.
I fucked it up earlier.
Yes, I also have a podcast. It's called Boys Club. You can find us on Instagram at Boys Club Comedy. We also do a live show. If you live in New York, would love for you to be there. I'm at Nico Carney on Instagram if you want to see my famous reels.
They were really good.
As we've been talking about.
They're really good.
I posted 5 and then I said this is enough for me.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, so if you want to watch the 5 I've posted in the last year, check those out.
That's
and
a really
rank
reasonable
them.
amount.
And
Yes.
email us ranking Nico's
Please.
5 reels.
You can put them all at 5th. And yeah, if you live in New York, come see me live.
Ooh,
That'd be
yes.
great.
All right.
Wow.
Slay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Bye.
Okay, bye.